A place I wish we started over 0-0. We're gonna get to it, Sean, because y'all niggas clear in the chat. They've been asking for it. I can't escape it. Reddit thread, Twitter niggas is hitting me up. They don't want a black man to have peace. The Cincinnati Bengals, speaking of blowouts,
I was gonna say which one. We're gonna start there.
got blown out by the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Lou, your hometown state.
Cashville.
And they sunned them too. It wasn't. I watched that game. They sunned them.
I'm gonna start with FIFA because this nigga been always talking shit. Is the Bengals season done already?
Well, I don't know when it's gonna get started because it really hasn't. And like I've been saying for the last couple of years, you know, you was on that bandwagon and you fell off, but the honest answer is Zach Taylor's on the hot seat. This does not look like any type of true head coaching job when you have that type of plethora of weapons and you have an honest franchise quarterback that we've seen do a lot with a little. This is just not what it. 3 points, Nick? 3 points.
This is the second time this year, 3 points.
And it's the second time, Nick. I don't want to hear about no injury, no this, no that, because at the end of the day, Joe Burrow played. And he was out there. He said, I'm good enough to go out there. And if you're good enough to go out there, you got to be better than 3 points because you're a franchise quarterback. So at the end of the day, obviously Joe Burrow ain't going nowhere. Jamar Chase ain't going nowhere. T. Higgins ain't going nowhere. You know, the running back, he probably out the door. But you know who's out there? Zach Taylor.
I'm going to let y'all talk before I go. Who else want to say something? Sheldon, you got something to say?
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
I feel bad for y'all because even T has fractured rib now. So you may miss some games with T. Higgins, and that defense is them boys are struggling. They are struggling big time. All over the field, that team is making mistakes, and it's not good when Jamar Chase putting out these one-liners, these quotes.
I'm always open.
I'm always open. And you can't give him the ball. It just looks horrible. It's a shit show right now.
I don't feel sorry for them at all.
I don't either.
Why not? Why do you not feel sorry for him?
I don't either. I don't feel sorry for him either.
They knew Joe Burrow was hurt, and they should have sit his ass down to week 4, week 5, or whatever after the break. I don't know what it was that y'all are trying to prove to the NFL or prove to the other teams. Oh, Joe Burrow's hero, Superman, or whatever it may be. But he should be sitting out to at least week 4 or 5. And Jamar Chase said this way back at the end of training camp. He hurt. He's not well. His average yard per attempt is way down from what it was last year as far as throwing over 10 yards. He's only throwing 4 or 5 yard passes. That's not his game. That's not what he's good for. So he should be on the bench. So when FIFO says, oh, Zach Taylor ain't doing his job, I agree with that 100%. Somebody should have made the evaluation that Joe Burrow need to be on the bench until he gets healthy. If that ain't this season, then they need to figure out what they're going to do from there. But he needed to be sitting the first 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season. That's easy.
I didn't get a chance to watch this game or the recap.
He ain't missed nothing.
You didn't miss it.
Shit.
Well,
Outside of the first drive, you didn't miss
He
nothing.
didn't miss shit.
so Burrow looked terrible.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't,
Okay.
yeah.
He can't throw past 10 yards.
You can see how limited he is based off the injury.
They have a
I
game
ain't
plan
throwing
in
no
place,
bell.
Ken,
He
for him.
looked terrible.
Ken, the game plan was for him to throw under 10 yards on his passes. Like everything was short.
Yeah, that's the offense they got to run.
That's crazy.
Well, that's the offense they've been running. I won't say got it.
They have
Yeah,
to.
you can't get blown out by the Titans. So I was like, something has to have been going on. So is it the offense? What is limiting them from being able to do what they need to do? And yeah, that's why I was like, I didn't get a chance to watch. So I just, when I saw the score, I was like, what the hell is going on? So I can't even really comment. It's just not good. The only thing I know that's different from last season is the injury. That's it.
Jake Browning and A.J. McCarron need to be playing.
So if he don't need to be, he need to sit down. Then he needs to
Well,
sit
I
down.
mean, I said this when Jamar said it. Like, I agree with him. I wanted Burrow to sit just because I'm thinking about the future. And we have a decently early bye week in the season to where if he would have sat out for like the first 5, 6 games, we could have seen the second half and seen him a little bit more better. But based off of, you just paid a nigga, he's the highest paid NFL player in NFL history right now, currently, until somebody else get paid. So, and he feels good. And, Joe Burrow, based on how his personality is, he going to play no matter what, so they're going to throw him out there. I don't like the offensive play calling at all. I think it's very limited, even though he is a limited QB based off the fact that he literally can't move based on what I'm seeing. I still wish it was a little bit more creative. I wish our offensive line had a little bit more cohesiveness. I think we should fire the offensive line coach based on these last 3 seasons.
Fired a coach.
I don't think the coach is on a hot seat still, just because if he's on a hot seat,
He has to be.
I'll let y'all talk. If he's on a hot seat, then Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin are on a hot seat. If anything, Mike Tomlin is definitely on a hot seat. But we'll get to that.
why we
I'll let
talking
y'all
about
talk.
them?
I'll let y'all talk.
But just
Y'all
talk
gonna let
about
y'all-
one team.
Huh?
Why are you bringing other teams
Because
into this?
okay, FIFA in the last 2 years, Zach Taylor has accomplished more than Mike Tomlin in the last 10.
Does Zach
Can you
Taylor,
disagree with- can you disagree with that?
Does Zach
Can
Taylor
you-
have a Super Bowl?
I said in the last 10.
Does he have a Super Bowl?
He does not.
All right.
Okay.
So then
I'm just
him and
saying-
Tomlin are two completely
But this is
different
what is the
conversations.
NFL? What have you done for me lately, league? Right?
But you know
when
what?
Mike Shanahan.
But in the last, no, and this is why you can't even compare that. Because,
How's that?
Because in the last 60 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 coaches. How many
We're
have
going to
this
60
is-
years now.
60 years.
To talk
So-
to,
so no,
to,
because- no, no,
to
no,
defend
no.
Mike Tomlin,
No,
we got to go
listen,
back 60.
no, listen,
you talking
listen,
about Jim
Nick,
Crow
Nick,
era,
Nick,
nigga?
Nigga, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Is that a well-run organization?
They're
doesn't-
well run.
Yes.
How many points did they put up last week, FIFA, against the Houston Texans?
Nick,
Still a
they
real
are
run.
How many points they put up?
They are still in a rebuild.
answer my
and they
question.
they had more wins last year than losses. Ever since Mike Tomlin has been there, they have won more than they lost.
How many points did they put up last week, FIFA?
I think it
Mike
was,
Tomlin's not on the hot seat,
okay,
bro.
listen. They put up 6
But
points.
here's the-
Mike
here's
Tomlin's
the
not on the
difference.
hot seat,
Here's
bro.
the difference.
they put up more than the Bengals last
When
week.
Joe Burrow comes to Mike Tomlin or Bill Belichick and says, I want to play even though I'm injured, they saying no. Zach Taylor don't have that luxury.
No,
Mike
you can't
Tomlin
say
don't have that luxury.
Mike Tomlin let Ben Roethlisberger play when he was a shell of
And they
himself.
won.
They lost.
No,
They went
they
14.
lost.
They went 14 and 0
That
one
was his
season.
goodbye
And-
tour.
No, they kept.
Ken,
they
how many
lost,
points-
but it
how
was-
many
They
points did
lost after that year when they thought they could
How many
win the
points
Super
did
Bowl.
the Steelers have more than the Bengals last week?
Just 3.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot.
All right, so
The point
less than a
is-
touchdown.
The point
what
is the
you're
reason
saying.
that those guys aren't in the same conversation with Zach Taylor.
No,
Zach Taylor don't even have the resume to be like, hey, Joe Burrow, you got to sit
years has
down.
Zach Taylor
You got to
been
sit
there?
down.
No,
I
listen,
don't think you're good enough
listen,
right
Lou,
now.
You
listen.
can't compare the 3 coaches.
Listen, Lou.
You
Everybody,
can't.
listen.
Thank you.
There's 2 things that can be true. I agree with them. Everything y'all said. But I disagree with Zach Taylor being on the hot seat. He is
How
not on the
long
hot
has
seat.
Zach Taylor
He's
been
on the
there?
hot seat. Not.
How long has he been there?
He's been there since at least 2018, 2019.
I don't think he's on the hot seat yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
It's-
can't
He
be.
just came off an AFC title.
The only problem I
appearance.
have with Zach Taylor is the fact that they start every year 0.
The play calling
Right.
is
They start
the
0-2
fact that
every
they
year.
always start in the hole and have overcome doesn't it gets tiresome after a point because
Yeah.
it's like at that point it's just coaching. It's not just oh well there's injury that has been playing a part of it, so that's why there's some excuse. But at the same time, if you're a good coach, you should coach over that.
Right.
So that's why I do agree, and I haven't been the biggest fan of Zach Taylor, but since he's got us to the Super Bowl and to back-to-back AFC title games, it's hard to really complain about him.
Right.
But at this point, when we're 1-3, and if we don't win these next 2 games, I don't see the season going anywhere.
Then you
so
sit
we
there.
have to go to 5. We have to be 3-3 going into the bye, otherwise the season's lost.
He has a built-in excuse. Go ahead,
No,
Shorty.
go ahead.
Yeah, that was
Well,
it.
well, the other part to that is we don't know if it's Zach Taylor's decision or not to play
That's
play
my
his
point,
quarterback.
though.
It
That's
could
my
be
point.
it could be an upstairs decision.
My point to why he shouldn't be compared to Tomlin and Belichick is that wouldn't be an upstairs decision. It would be their decision.
I think all 3 coaches are different, and all 3 have different situations going on with their team. The Cincinnati Bengals have more talent than the
Patriots or the
Patriots
Steelers.
and the
Yep.
Steelers, and they're in different modes. You know, the Bengals are in Super Bowl or bust mode. You know, the Patriots are clearly rebuilding. I don't know what the hell they're doing. And so are the Steelers. So I think they're in different situations. I think that Zach Taylor is not on the hot seat because Burrow's injury he got an excuse. It's gonna save him. Now, if Burrow was healthy and they were doing this, then I even still I think because of his past accomplishments, I don't think he would be on the hot seat. Because you did get to the Super Bowl, you did get to the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah.
Like you've done shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, one bad season, you're not gonna get on the hot seat that fast.
Moving on, because we got to keep up with time.
Yeah, of course, you want to move on quick.
We could, when we get to the Super Chat show, we can bring all this shit back up because, of course, they're going to say something. They always do, podcast. The Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans blew out their opponents this past Sunday, which leads me to this question since we were talking about coaches.
Why are you lumping us in with the Texans?
It's a Texas connection. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Ken, which coach is on a hot seat more between Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin?
I think I think Bill, bro. I think Bill. I think that organization are used to winning Super Bowls way more than the Steelers.
Yeah, because they won way more than the
Right,
Steelers.
exactly. But that's the point. So if you've done that, then your expectations are different. So when you see the one guy that they love that brought all of those Super Bowls to them, and he's gone, and he lucked into a Super Bowl with the Bucks, then you're looking at Bill and saying maybe it wasn't all you. We know, or at least I feel, that it was definitely just a perfect marriage between the two. You needed both to accomplish stuff, and that's what you got. And but I think that with the Raiders roster look, I think you've had criticism of Bill before Brady left, and they were falling out of favor with him. Then I think Bill is definitely on the hot seat more than Tomlin.
What you saying?
I agree with that somewhat. I still don't think either one of them on the hot seat, though. I still think they can kind of write their own ticket. They will come up with a plan
with
as
these
to
fan
the succession
bases.
plan.
These are some of the biggest fan bases of the last 20 years. They ask for excellence. And you saying that neither one of them will be on it?
I just don't. I think that their resume speaks for themselves. A lot of their problems, a lot of people will look at their problems and say, we need to figure a solution out, but they're not going to look at them and say, you're the problem. They're going to look at it and say, what can we do to change this? Like, they're going to blame the quarterback, Mac Jones. They're going to blame the quarterback, Pickett, but they're not going to say it's the leadership of Mike Tomlin. It's the leadership of Bill Belichick. We talked about Bill Belichick a couple weeks ago, how he's a great schematic guy, and if he has the time, he's going to prepare his team and have them ready to play. Now, that was an embarrassing loss, but still.
That's an understatement.
Worst loss of his career.
It was.
Worst loss of his career.
But they're not looking. They're still saying it like, they're going to pass the buck because his resume is so
But he's known
big.
but he's a defensive coordinator, bro.
Right.
Losing to Philly 25 to what was it? What was the score? 25-20 or something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
that's reasonable. Like that's like, all right, that's basically offense could have made that difference.
Right. But
38-3?
right, but like we talked about with the Chiefs game, sometimes you're gonna round out, you're gonna throw out one of those bad ones and get on to the next. Now, if he loses a couple more games like that, then we can have a conversation. But right now, you can't. It's a little early to be putting him on the hot seat because I don't think you can let that guy go.